Listen to this. Fox News alert now. Keep your eye on that map. Tensions are growing for U.S. forces in the Mideast as the Houthi rebels, now in control of Yemen, fired 2 missiles at a U.S. aircraft in the Gulf of Aden after the Navy arrested 5 pirates who tried hijacking a nearby tanker that was linked to Israel. Is this crazy? Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy joins us now. Great to see you, Congressman. Your reaction to the Houthi rebels trying to rocket Saudi Arabia, rocket Israel, rocket us. This is just the latest attack.
Yeah, it's unacceptable, but you have to understand, why do they feel empowered to do this? It wasn't something that happened last week. It's something that happened when we changed administrations. Under the Trump administration, they were listed as terrorist organizations. They would know they would not be in a position to do this. But in February 2021, Biden lifted it, and they're no longer listed as terrorists. Also in the Biden administration, Iran, who funds much of all of this, was only able to produce 400,000 barrels a day. They're now producing 3 million. So they're getting billions of dollars.
And who do they give it to? Hamas, Hezbollah, and Houthi rebels.
The challenge we have in the Middle East today is based upon a new administration in the White House. And the appeasement that they have gone forward has lifted and allowed, and now people are dying, Americans are being attacked, Americans are being taken hostage and killed. And it really goes back to what Bob Gates, former Secretary of Defense, said years ago. Every foreign policy decision Biden has made, and he said this before he was president, has been wrong. And I've got personal. In 2015, I went to the White House, sat in the Situation Room, and talked to then Vice President Joe Biden, trying to encourage him to sell javelins to the Ukrainians, a defensive weapon against tanks. He would not do that.
Blankets and MREs.
Yeah.
That's all he would greenlight while he was in control of the portfolio for the Obama administration on Ukraine. It's crazy how it's all linked together. Let's talk about this next election. Nobody is a better fundraiser than you. And so I'm very aware of the electorate. Before we talk about fundraising, African Americans disenchanted with President Biden, but what have Republicans done to attract them? Here's the headline of "Are Black Voters Leaving Democrats Behind?" The question is, do Republicans have a game plan to get them back? So we just had a panel of African Americans join Lawrence a second ago. So let's listen to a little bit what they had to say.
Recent polls suggest that a small but rising number of Black Democratic voters are turned off by Joe Biden's messaging. This messaging is not resonating with him like they used to. Also, there is a perception that they are being left behind.
This is supposed to be the greatest country in the nation, and we are failing our American people every single day. And that is the frustration that Americans are feeling.
So your thoughts, if someone says, what's the plan for Republicans to attract the black voter, what would you say?
Well, I would say you don't treat them just based upon the color of their skin. You build an economy that gives them an opportunity. You build an education system that gives their children an opportunity as well. And I'm proud of what we've been able to do. When I've been leader in the last 2 cycles where Republicans have lost in the presidency, the Senate, and the governors, we won. But who did we win with? We elected the most Republican women. We elected the most black Republicans since Reconstruction. We elected the most Hispanic Republicans. And it needs to be a party of opportunity, a party that everybody's welcome into. That doesn't mean we win the majority overnight, but we have shown time and again there's an opportunity for you to be able to, not only to move ahead, but your family as well.
So there's a story today that the RNC has just $9 million. In 2020, they had $61 million at the same time. In 2016, you had 20 million. You had just about the same. What's going on with the fundraising on the Republican side? Because you got 70 lawsuits in 19 states on the election overall. You have to try hard to keep the House majority. Why isn't the money flowing into Republican coffers?
Look, in the House, we're in a stronger position we've been. We're $20 million ahead of where we've been before when I left. Our recruiting is even continuing to expand. I just gave $3 million last week. I may not be Speaker, but I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure Republicans have an opportunity to win. I believe if Joe Biden stays on the ticket, it could be the very best night for Republicans. We are in a stronger position in the House to have a better election cycle this time than the last 2 cycles when we won. You look at the retirement, Spanberger, you look at Slotkin, you look at Kildee. These are Democrats who retired in places that we were challenging. Winnable. You look at redistricting just in North Carolina. We're going to pick up 3 to 4 seats. Republicans should win. Joe Biden, the president, cannot fix his problem. His number one problem is his age. You look at the economy. He champions the economy that people have found that they've caused this inflation. You look at foreign policy. There is no president facing a re-election weaker than Joe Biden since Jimmy Carter.
You're in the prime of your political life. You're no longer speaker because of 8 votes when you had 96%
8 with all the
approval.
Democrats.
Right. So what's next for you? Would it be a chairman of a committee? Would it be joining a Republican administration?
Look, I look at the one thing they've always found about me is I never give up. I don't know what's the best place for me, but I am always going to work to improve this country, and I believe Republicans in the majority is the best. So I'm going to help.
But you also have to be
everywhere I can.
intrigued by a position that gives you, that's reflective of your experience.
The one thing I've always learned growing up, surpass expectations in any job you're given. I don't care if that's picking up trash, and you'll get another opportunity. I believe there'll be more opportunities for me, but it doesn't matter what the title is. I have an opportunity just like everybody in this country to help improve it, and I'm excited about being able to do that.
All right, and lastly, this upcoming election, Speaker Johnson endorsed Donald Trump.
Yes.
You said, I'm going to wait. Did he make a mistake endorsing a candidate before the primary started?
No, he has the opportunity. Look, I believe Donald Trump is going to be the nominee, and I believe Donald Trump is going to win this election. I had a lot of challenges right in front of me that I continue to focus on. We got government funding still to do. We've got to make sure we were very successful in the short time. Cut more than $2 trillion. Work requirements the Democrats said they would not do. Passing the Parents' Bill of Rights, passing the bill that makes us energy independent, the strongest border security bill that Republicans have ever passed, and we did it with a 5-seat majority. So there is so much we can accomplish if we focus together.
Right, and we'll see what happens. That's another reason to pay attention in 2024. The House is going to be up in play. Great to see you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Former Speaker, but who knows what's next.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.